Hey, this is JT. Welcome once again to the backyard and welcome to Bodyweight Strength. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be extending our push-up progression tree and we're going to be doing one-arm push-ups. The last video that I did in this skill progression tree was elevated archer push-ups, and so if you're watching this video and you don't have the strength built up to attempt one-arm push-ups, go back to the archer push-up video, which I will put in the notes to this video, and that video will help you build the prerequisite strength and stability to begin true one-arm push-ups. What I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate several variations of the one-arm push-up, and then after demonstrating those variations, I'm going to come back and give you the finer points and the details, but make sure you watch the commentary at the end because I'm going to talk about a little bit of nuance when you program your one-arm push-ups and what exercise I think you really want to include along with your one-arm push-ups to make sure that you're getting maximal pectoral development. So make sure you watch at the end, and now I'm going to demonstrate those for you. Okay, so that was a pretty straightforward demonstration. I gave you a front view and a side view, and then I also used the back of a chair to elevate the front of my body, which would distribute more of my weight to my feet, making the pressing musculature of the upper body do less work. So when you get down and try a one-arm push-up, if it's really, really difficult for you, even after those uneven archer push-ups, then what you'll want to do is use the back of a couch, a chair, a box, or whatever, and do them elevated. And once you can rep them elevated, then reduce the elevation, so from a high surface to a medium height surface to the floor. The other thing is that when you're performing one-arm push-ups, you are creating a triangular shape. Your hand and your 2 feet are going to be the base of the triangle and then the top of the triangle. And so what can make the movement easier is making your base wider. And so at first, start with a very wide feet and see how difficult it is for you to perform. As you widen the feet, it's going to take some forces off of the core, and that's going to be the spot where I find people who can't perform the one-arm push-up. A lot of time it's not necessarily a weakness in the pressing musculature, it's that their core is underdeveloped, both anterior and posterior core. So get your feet really wide, make it easier on the core, try it with wide feet, and then week after week, session after session, what happens is as you build strength throughout that movement, you can start moving your feet a little bit closer together, and eventually I'm about 12 inches to 8 inches apart, and I can only do like 2 or 3 that way. They're really, really difficult. Not so much on the pressing musculature, but what it is that you're narrowing the base of the triangle, and it's making it a much, much more difficult full body exercise. So you can work for a very, very long time on your one-arm push-ups just with narrowing the base of support with your feet as a way to scale the intensity to build total body strength. Now with that being said, what I wanted you to watch the tail end of this video for was for how to program these one-arm push-ups. The one-arm push-ups are very, very good for building pressing strength, but they are not the best for really maximal engagement of the pecs. What happens, and you'll feel this when you try these, it's a lot of tricep and it's a lot of front delt that is actually moving. Your body should be hollow, okay? Should be in a hollow body push-up position, one arm down. And what happens is your body's in an isometric state. It takes a lot of strength for your body to hold that position, okay? So again, why I mentioned you're gonna build total body strength. But as you dynamically move through this exercise, it's that front delt and the tricep that are doing a lot of the work. And then the pec comes in. And so because of that, I don't like to utilize only the one arm push-up as my upper body press movement. If I'm programming a workout, what I like to do is either start with a set of hollow body push-ups, hands 6 inches back for maximal pec engagement, and do a set of push-ups to really get the pecs engaged. Or even better, if you have rings, you can do ring dips with rings turned out. And if you're strong enough, you can do the wide ring dips I showed with rings turned out. And those are going to really get the pecs as the primary musculature that's engaged. So you're going to wear your pecs out on that first set of either hollow body push-ups or your rings. And then you're going to either rest, however long you're resting for. Ideally rest long enough to have max intensity at the next set. So if you're going to go straight from your push-up or your wide ring dips onto the one-arm push-up, I would suggest waiting at least 2-3 minutes and then doing the one-arm push-up. Alternatively, what you can do when you're programming this is you can go pressing movement, so do your hollow body push-ups or your rings, then go on to like a pulling movement. So maybe you're going to rest 60 seconds, then do pull-ups, then rest 60 seconds, which puts you at almost 3 minutes of rest since you've used the pressing musculature as the primary driver for a movement. So you can go at that point and work your one-arm push-ups. So it would look like wide ring dips, rest 60 seconds, pull-ups, rest 60 seconds, one-arm push-ups. Hopefully that makes sense. But I wanted to talk about that and let you know that if one of your goals is to build a chest, build your pecs, and you're looking for pectoral hypertrophy, then I don't think that the one-arm push-up is the best movement for that purpose. I do think it's amazing for building upper body pressing strength. And as you get into your one-arm push-ups, really pay attention to those triceps, because it's an incredible movement for building your triceps. And again, anterior deltoids. And one other thing, when you get down to do the one-arm push-up, if you find it's difficult for you, another thing that might be an issue for you is hand positioning. You can grab onto a dumbbell or a parallel, giving you a neutral grip and allowing you to squeeze something nice and tight, which can help you generate more force and make the movement easier. So if you're having trouble, try a neutral grip. So with the pressing hand, if you utilize a neutral grip, grip the bar as tight as you can, okay? If you don't use a neutral grip, and what you want to do with the pressing hand is you want to grab the ground like you're palming a basketball. And as you're pressing down hard through the palm, squeeze with the fingers. Keep in mind that total body tension increases the amount of force you're able to generate. So with the pressing hand, grip the ground or grab a hold of that dumbbell or parallel if you're neutral grip, and then press hard. And then the other thing is you've got a free hand, right? So with the free hand, what should you do with it? The options are, some people like to extend the free hand, tension throughout that arm, squeeze tight, and extend the free hand. I personally like to place it behind me in the small of my back, and I like to make a tight fist, and that's going to keep tension throughout the free hand and arm as well as the pressing arm. Just keep that in mind as you're going through your one-arm push-ups. Total body tension, tighten everything up from the calves to the quads to the glutes to the free hand to the pressing hand. Total body tension, keep everything tight. Press hard through the floor, fully extend that shoulder at the top, shoulder protraction, and have fun with the one-arm push-ups. One last thing I wanted to highlight that's super important. When you do one-arm push-up training, your body should be held straight isometrically. When you come down and your shoulders are retracted, you should be from the pressing hand, the leg that accompanies the pressing hand, you should be in a straight line. Your body, your hips should not be way out to the side. Your body should not be contorted. So that's why I stress a wide stance, keeping the body stable. And as you build strength, bringing those feet in, again, it's super important. You don't want to contort your body and be super twisted. When you're first starting to do these, you may be there might be a little bit of that, and I totally get that. You're not going to be perfect right off the bat, just like with any exercise. Your form's not going to be flawless when you first do it. It's going to take some practice. But video yourself, play it back, look at yourself, and see if you're super contorted and writhing, and if so, then you might need to elevate the surface that you're pressing on with your hand, put more of the weight back to the feet, and get stronger at that slight elevation, and then move back to the floor. So just something I wanted to point out there. Make sure you're doing clean reps and work toward clean reps. And if you don't have clean reps on the floor, elevate the surface. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. In the next video, if one-arm push-ups are too easy for you, I'm going to show you how to make them harder. So we'll go through a few variants that are harder than a standard one-arm push-up, which I demonstrated in this video. Make sure you click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you click the notification bell so when I post new content, you get notified. And like always, thank you for supporting Bodyweight Strength.